while the representatives of the Kiev regime, led by Vladimir Zelensky, have not left their underground bunkers for the third day in a row, in anticipation of a crushing blow to the capital of Ukraine, the Russian Aerospace Forces, together with missile forces, continue to launch massive missile strikes against military objects and energy infrastructure facilities of Ukraine, located throughout the territory of this Eastern European country. So, in the last 24 hours alone, Russia has rained down on Ukraine more than 100 rockets of various types, ranging from ballistic to cruise missiles. It is reported that in the last 3 days alone, as a result of these massive missile strikes, Russia has managed to destroy dozens of military and energy facilities in the central, southern, northern, and western parts of Ukraine. Dozens of NATO facilities located in both the western and central parts of Ukraine were also hit by Russian missiles. By the way, today was also no exception. On November 28, independent monitoring services recorded about 40 explosions in Ukraine's cities of Lutsk, Rivne, Vinnytsia, Kiev, Odessa, Dnipro, and Lviv. It is reported that as a result of this missile attack, dozens of electrical substations in western Ukraine were destroyed, as well as about 10 classified NATO facilities, where American ATACMS ballistic missiles and Franco-British Storm Shadow cruise missiles were stored. Against this backdrop, it is worth paying attention to a very suspicious official statement by the Department of National Defense and the Canadian Armed Forces. In particular, after these massive Russian missile strikes on Ukraine, on November 28, 2024, the Canadian Defense Ministry officially announced the death of a Canadian Army officer, Lieutenant Colonel Kent Miller. In an official statement from the Canadian Defense Ministry, it was said that this officer allegedly died in the Belgian town of Casto, due to health complications. At the same time, insiders noticed that the Canadian authorities handed over to relatives the body of the deceased officer in a sealed coffin. Thus, as you can see, the number of losses of NATO forces in Ukraine continues to grow rapidly. According to independent monitoring services, NATO military transport planes are transporting out of Ukraine dozens of coffins with soldiers and officers of Western countries almost every day. Meanwhile, First Deputy Permanent Representative of Russia to the UN, Dmitry Polyansky, at a meeting of the Security Council dedicated to the Ukrainian crisis, officially stated that Moscow has every right to a mirror response to attacks by Western long-range missiles on the territory of the Russian Federation. In particular, the senior Russian diplomat bluntly stated that Russia has every right to attack military facilities on the territory of those Western countries that allowed Kiev to fire their long-range missiles deep into Russian territory. I officially declare that Moscow has every right to use its weapons against those countries that allowed Kiev to fire its missiles against Russia. We have repeatedly warned you about the deplorable consequences of this decision. However, you have made your choice. And now, the wait for Russia's response isn't too long. You will soon receive a decisive and mirrored response, senior Russian diplomat Dmitry Polyansky said. Thus, Russia has officially confirmed that NATO facilities, located not only on the territory of Ukraine, but also on the territory of Britain, France, and even the United States, can be hit by Russian missiles. Moreover, the Russian diplomat also mentioned the head of the Kiev regime, Vladimir Zelensky. In particular, he said that at the moment, the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation is preparing a crushing retaliatory strike to Zelensky's order to attack the Kursk region with the help of American ATACMS missiles. Surprisingly, immediately after this statement by a senior Russian diplomat, the chairman of the Turkish Nationalist Movement Party, Devlet Bahçeli, called on U.S. citizens and the U.S. military to get rid of Biden and his administration, before it was too late. This Turkish politician noted that Biden and his administration are doing everything to start World War III, with the use of nuclear missiles. At the moment, the main goal of Biden and his administration is to start a global war before the inauguration of the elected head of state, Donald Trump. I urge sane American politicians and U.S. citizens not to wait for January 20, 2025, and to impeach this madman. By doing this, you would do a great service to the whole world, and save all mankind from imminent death, Turkish politician Devlet Bahçeli said. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin, at a meeting of the Collective Security Treaty Organization, made a rather alarming statement that shocked the Kiev authorities. In particular, he said that the General Staff, together with the Russian Ministry of Defense, are selecting targets for their further destruction on the territory of Ukraine, using the world's most powerful hypersonic ballistic missile ORESHNIK. At the same time, the Russian leader noted that these targets could be military facilities, weapons factories, and even decision-making centers located in Kiev. According to Vladimir Putin, ORESHNIK can strike at any minute, and he does not hide the future targets of the latest Russian rocket because this hypersonic ballistic missile cannot be shot down with the help of even the most modern types of air defense systems. Moreover, Vladimir Putin even revealed some of the characteristics of this latest Russian missile. According to him, the latest missile ORESHNIK is capable of delivering nuclear charges with a total capacity of 900 kilotons, to a range of 5,500 kilometers in just a few minutes. At the same time, this missile flies to its target at a mind-boggling speed of 12,400 kilometers per hour. Vladimir Putin noted that it is precisely thanks to this hypersonic speed that this missile is capable of turning any military facilities into dust, even without a nuclear charge. Moreover, the Russian leader also stressed that even underground bunkers are not able to save the people there from this latest Russian missile, clearly hinting that it is time for Vladimir Zelensky to flee from his underground bunker and look for another place to spend the night. Immediately after this statement by Vladimir Putin, insiders in Kiev said that a real panic was set in the Ukrainian capital. It is reported that at the moment, a large number of people are leaving not only the center of Kiev, but even its suburbs. Thus, as we can see, Vladimir Putin kept his word and warned the citizens of Ukraine in advance about a new strike by the world's most powerful hypersonic ballistic missile ORESHNIK.